මේ විදිහට තමයි පටිච්ච සමුප්පාදයේ පෙන්වන්නේ. අවිද්‍යාව කියන්නේ කිසිම දෙයක් නොදන්නා තත්වයේ ඉඳලා මේ සංස්කරණය කෙරුවා. සංස්කරණය කරනවා කියන්නේ අමුතුවෙන් හැදුවා. ඒ හැදුවේ මොකද්ද? ඒ හැදීම ඒ සංස්කරණය කරලා යමක් දැකීම තමයි විඥානය කියන්නේ. ඒ විඥානෙට පේන දේ තමයි නාම රූප කියන්නේ. නාම කියන්නේ නමක් දෙනවා. රූප කියන්නේ ඒ දැකපු රූපේ. රූපයක් විතරයි මෙතන තියෙන්නේ. ඒකට නමක් දෙනවා. එතකොට ඒකෙන් තමයි ලෝකේ හැදෙන්නේ. ලෝකේ තමයි සලආයතන ලෝකේ. ආයතන 6ක් තියෙනවා. ඇහෙන් දකින ලෝකේ, කනෙන් ඇහෙන ලෝකේ, නායට දැනෙන, දිවට දැනෙන, ශරීරයට දැනෙන, හිතට දැනෙන ලෝකේ. ඒක දැකීම තමයි සිහිය ආවා කියන්නේ. එතකොට ඒ සිහිය ආවෙන් පස්සේ තමයි වින්දනය දැනෙන්නේ. ඒ වින්දනය දැනෙනකොට ඒකට ආසාව අකමැත්ත ඇති වෙනවා. ඒ ආසාව අකමැත්ත ඇති වුණාම ඒ ආසාව අකමැත්ත මගේ කියලා හිතා ගන්නවා. ඒක මගේ කරගත්තාම මමක් හැදෙනවා ඉබේටම. ඒ මම කවුද කියලා බලාපුවම ශරීරය අල්ලගන්න මම කියලා. එතකොට ශරීරේ මම කරගත්තාම ඒකේ තියෙනවා ජාති ජරා මරණ. ඒක තමයි දුක. ඒව මේ තස්ස කේවලස්ස දුක්ඛඛණ්ඩ සමුදයෝ හෝති. මේ විදිහට තමයි මේ දුක කියන එක ඇති වෙන්නේ. ඒකයි පටිච්ච සමුප්පාදය කියන්නේ. සලආයතන පස්ස වෙන්නේ සලආයතන කියන්නේ ලෝකේ. ඒ ලෝකේ කියලා අපි කියන්නේ මේ දෙයක් තියනවා කියලා නේ. ලෝකේ කියලා දෙයක් නැහැ. මෙතන තියෙන්නේ ඇහැට පෙනීමයි, කනට ඇහිීමයි, නාහිට දැනීමයි, දිවට දැනීමයි, ශරීරයට දැනීමයි. ඒ දැනීමට තමයි අපි ලෝකෙ කියලා කියන්නේ. ඒකයි ඒකට සලආයතන කියන වචනේ දැම්මේ බුදුහාමුදුරුවෝ. ඊළඟට ඒ ලෝකේ පෙනීම තමයි සිහිය ආවා කියලා කියන්නේ. ඒ සිහිය ආවා කියන එක තමයි පස්ස කියන වචනයෙන් කියන්නේ. සිහිය ආවා. ඒ සිහිය ආපුවාම තමයි වින්දනය දැනෙන්නේ. ඒ වින්දනය ආපුවාම ඒ වින්දනයට එක්ක ආසාවක් ඇති වෙනවා නැත්නම් අකමැත්තක් ඇති වෙනවා. ඒ ආසාව අකමැත්ත ඇති වුනහම ඒ ආසාව අකමැත්ත මගේ කියලා හිතා ගන්න. ඒ ආධ්‍යාත්මික කෑල්ලයි බාහිර කෑල්ලයි. බාහිර කෑල්ල තමයි අපි දකින දේ කියලා කියන්නේ. ආධ්‍යාත්මික කෑල්ල තමයි දැකීමත් ආසාවක් අකමැත්තක්. ඒ විදිහට ඒක තේරුම් ගන්න. ඒ දැකීම අකමැත්ත කියන එක මගේ කරගන්නවා. ඒ ආධ්‍යාත්මික දේ මගේ කරගන්නවා. ඒ මගේ කර ගැනීමෙන් තමයි මම කියන එක හැදෙන්නේ. Until money. Yeah, you have a question? Huh?
It's a practice of the Four Noble Truths regarding the Paticca Samuppada. So how is that third noble truth applied?
Avijja Paccaya Sankhara.
Yes, if that's the experience.
Huh?
If that's the experience, okay?
Huh?
That's the experience, Paticca Samuppada.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have to
from a state of unconsciousness,
yes, so we're looking
the construction process begins.
Yes, so we see that all the way up.
Huh?
We notice that when it becomes personalized.
Then we personalize.
We notice that. So the Nirodha of the third noble truth,
yeah,
is applied there.
Nirodha comes through understanding and observing this process of perception. Yeah. The Paticca Samuppada, when understood.
That's right. So we work our way back.
Huh?
We work our way back from what is gross.
We become aware of this. When we become aware of the Paticca Samuppada, that is what is called Nirodha Samapatti. Are you familiar with that word? The Nirodha Samapatti. That Nirodha Samapatti is to become aware of that Paticca Samuppada. So there are two ways of thinking. One is the normal way of thinking. We are thinking in terms of existence, bhava. That means I exist, everything else is existing, there are other people existing, and with that existence of oneself and others, we are having a relationship between myself and others. And in that relationship, we are suffering. Now, this is what I call a paradigm shift. The normal paradigm is the paradigm of existence. Now we shift from the paradigm of existence to the paradigm of impersonal experience. Experience is an impersonal process. It is by personalizing that impersonal process that we are thinking of existence. So when we become an arahant, it means we have shifted from the paradigm of existence to the paradigm of experience. Now there is, in German language, there is a word called Weltanschauung. Now they are also talking about this thing called paradigm. Weltanschauung. Now today people who talk about a thing called quantum physics, they have come out of the normal paradigm of physics. Even Newtonian physics was given up by who is that man? Einstein. Albert Einstein. So, Albert Einstein brought a different paradigm with his theory of relativity. So, like that, here the Buddha introduced a different paradigm. The paradigm of impersonal experience. It is a movement from the paradigm of existence to the paradigm of impersonal experience. That is the paradigm shift. And that is the meaning of awakening from the dream of existence. Awakening from the dream of existence. That is what the Buddha achieved. To become a Buddha is to awaken from the dream of existence. This is why the Buddha is called the awakened one. One who has awakened. The word Tathagata, also means Tatha is the reality. Gata means gone to the reality. From the unreal existence to the real non-existence. That is again the paradigm shift. It's a different way of looking at our experience. Now the Mahayana people talk about a thing called sunyata. That sunyata means empty. That emptiness is again the same thing, that we are awakening from the dream of existence. That is the meaning of Bhava Nirodho. Bhava Nirodho Nibbana. Bhava means existence. Nirodha means to get out of existence. Now today we were discussing one of those monks, this small monk was asking, there is a verse in the sutras, Nate kama yani chitrani loke, sankappa rago purisassa kamo, tittanti chitrani tateva loke. Atetta dira vinayanti chanda. What that means is, nate kama yani chitrani loke, that what we see in the normal world, those objects that we see are not the pleasures. Sankappa rago purisassa kamo. Sankappa means a mental image. That mental image that is what we are attracted to. We are attracted to a mental image. Because we are creating the mental image ourselves in that process of perception. And when we have created that mental image, then we begin to get attracted to that mental image. Tittanti chitrani tateva loke. The wise people who understand, we let those objects be there and we give up the desire and attachment to these mental images. So that is how the Arahant thinks and looks at things. It's only a mental image. Now these things are described even in some other sutras. Like the first sutra in the Majjhima Nikaya. What is the name of that first sutra in the Majjhima Nikaya? What's that? Mula Pariyaya Sutra. That Mula Pariyaya Sutra explains how the normal person looks at things and how the Arahant looks at things. The normal person sees a solid, perceives a solid, and comes to the conclusion that the solid exists. But the Arahant super perceives, that is, the word that is used is abhijanati. The ordinary person sanjanati. Pataving patavito sanjanati. But the Arahant pataving patavito abhijanati. Abhijanati means super perceives. And the ordinary person comes to the conclusion that object exists. But the Arahant does not come to the conclusion the object exists. Because he sees it only as a picture. The eye is like a camera taking pictures. The picture is inside the camera and not outside. So what we see is the picture in the eye. So when we are attracted to some object, we are really attracted to the picture in the eye. This is why the person who knows will give up all attachments to things that we see or hear or smell or taste or touch. So this is very important. It is found in several sutras, not only there. But the normal interpreter doesn't understand this. This is what has happened today. Even the people who translated these sutras, they have not understood what it is all about. This is why a certain Deva came to the Buddha and asked, if one travels in space, by traveling in space, can we come to the end of the world? The Buddha said, no. You cannot come to the end of the world by traveling in space. Then he said, what you say, I have experienced through my own efforts. Because before I was born in this Deva world as a Deva, I was a meditating yogi who had attained psychic powers where I could travel at a high speed in space, like the speed of light. And then I died on the way. I couldn't reach the end of the world. This is why I am asking this question. And the Buddha said, you cannot reach the end of the world by traveling in space. Because the world, the beginning of the world, the end of the world, and the way leading to the end of the world is in this fathom-long body itself, with its perceptions and conceptions. In other words, you are creating the world through the process of perception. So to reach the end of the world is to stop creating the world. Now see, there is a verse that the Buddha is supposed to have said after he became a Buddha. You may have heard it many times, not one. Two verses. Aneka jati samsaram sandha vissam anibvisam gahakarakam gavesanto dukkha jati punapuna. The second verse is Gahakaraka dittosi punageham nakahasi sabbete basuka bagga gahakutam visankitam visankara gatan chittam tanhayam khayamajjagati. What that means is, The first verse is before he became a Buddha. He says, I have been traveling in this samsara through a countless number of lives. Searching for the creator of the world. But I never met him. It is very painful to be born again and again. That was the first verse. But it was after he became a Buddha that he recites the second verse. His experience after he became a Buddha. Gahakaraka dittosi. I have seen you, Creator. You will not create anymore. I have destroyed your structure and broken all your supports. The mind has stopped creating. That emotional urge has come to an end. So in other words, the creator was his own mind, not some external agent. And how this creation took place is what we discussed as Paticca Samuppada. Today the tradition explains Paticca Samuppada in the form of 3 lives. Avijja, Pacca, Sankhara is one life. Then from Nama Rupa, Pacca, Salayatana, Salayatana, Pacca, Passo, Passa, Pacca, Ved. And so on, coming to Bhava is the second life. After Bhava, Jati is the third life. And they think Paticca Samuppada is an explanation of rebirth, how karma creates rebirth. That is a mistake. Paticca Samuppada means that everything arises due to conditions. Samuppada means it happens at the same time. That means there is no past, present and future for this. So that's the important thing to understand. So anyway, now we have reached the end of our time. So you have asked questions and I have answered the questions also. So the best thing is, you can continue to meditate, but this time you can lie down to meditate. But instead of thinking of sleeping, you should think of awakening. That is what the Buddha has taught. So if you fall asleep, the moment you realize you are sleeping, you should wake up and start walking. That's the right way to meditate. And when you lie down, you should lie down on the right side, not the left side. So, that is all.
Bhante, how can you explain Bhava Pacchaya Jati?
What?
Bhava Pacchaya Jati.
Bhava Pacchaya Jati.
Can you explain that in one life cycle? How can you explain
I have already explained that. You are not listening properly. That's what has happened. Bhava means yourself coming into being. Bhava is not sankhara. Bhava is not kusal akusal. Bhava is not karma. Bhava means being. Some people translate it as becoming. Bhava is not becoming. Bhava is being. Being means existence. When you say the book exists, how you say in Pali? Pottakam bhavati. Bhavati means existing. So, you come into existence, and the way you come to existence is through upadana. Upadana pacchaya bhava. Bhava comes from upadana. Upadana is not grasping or clinging. Upadana is personalizing. To say this is mine. So you get a desire for something and you think this desire is mine. It is I who desire. The moment you say mine, the I comes into being. You cannot have a mind without an I. So that I coming into being is bhava. And then you begin to ask, where is that I? Who is the I? And then ultimately you identify the body as the I. The I is the body. And if the body is the I, then the birth of the body becomes my birth. Death of the body becomes my death. The aging of the body becomes my aging. So jati, jara, marana is of the body. And because the body has become yourself, you think that is, I am born, I am growing old, I am falling sick. That identifying the body as myself is what is called Sakkaya Ditthi. That is Sakkaya Ditthi. Swakaya. Sakkaya means Swakaya. My body. That is the meaning. So that is the end of our discussion. and tomorrow morning we'll be discussing the Bojjhangas. So that also you might not understand fully, but just you can hear about it, even if you don't understand. Just as you heard about the Paticcasamuppada. Okay, now I will chant blessings. Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakkhantu sabba devata sabba buddhanubhavena sada sutti bhavantu te. Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakkhantu sabba devata sabba dhammanubhavena sada sutti bhavantu te. Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakkhantu sabba devata sabba sanghanubhavena sada sutti bhavantu te. Abhivadana silissa niccang vaddapachayino chattaro dhamma vaddanti ayuvanno sukhang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha ato nibbana sampatti iminate